What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's Rudy Rodriguez Show Ma here, Hurricanes Unfiltered. Sorry, running a few minutes late. We're running on Cuban time. I apologize for the delays. Hope everyone is having a great day. We'll give it a few minutes before we get this thing started today. Miami Hurricanes coming off of a very needed win over Stanford. Very needed win. A second half that, thank God, looked like a football team that we recognize rather than a team that we don't. That second half I thought, was very critical in nature for the Hurricanes. One that, if we saw more of the first half, in the second half, I would be highly concerned going into SMU this weekend with a 12 noon start. But because Miami woke the hell up finally, I don't have that same level of concern. Not to mention, SMU, while they're a good squad, they are not a great squad. Defensively, they have struggles. They given 48 points to Baylor earlier this year. They lost 35-24 to TCU. And they've only played in the conference Syracuse, Stanford, and Clemson. And then they won those games, but lost to Wake Forest this past weekend 13-12 in a game in which their offense was rather putrid in nature, 246 total yards. Wake Forest pretty much shut them down, holding them to 8 first downs in that game. And Wake Forest committed 5 turnovers and still found a way to win the game 13-12 in the final I think it was the final play of the game where Wake Forest hit a field goal. Yeah, 50-yard field goal with no time left to get the W, 13-12. That dropped SMU to 5-3 and 3-1 in conference. But that was a next level, pretty brutal performance by SMU, who also committed 3 turnovers in that game. But now we got to play those guys, and they're going to be playing at home, and you already know that they're going to come out with some energy, with some fire. There's people on that team that know, obviously, who we have on our team. Rhett Lashley is the coach over there. This is a team that does have some weapons on offense, despite only scoring 12 points last weekend. A quarterback who's mobile. We the last couple of games we've had non-mobile quarterbacks. This time we have Kevin Jennings, who's completed 66% of his passes, 17 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Throws the ball a lot. They are a they're a more pass heavy team than run. They pass the ball more than they run it. Running back is TJ Harden, 109 carries, 456 yards. Chris Johnson at 42 carries and 314 yards. And after that, it's Kevin Jennings is the guy that carries the ball the most. But he has been sacked 13 times, so he is sackable. Romello Brinson is their leading wide receiver. You might remember that name. He played in Miami for 2 seasons before transferring in 2023 to SMU. 6'2", 190-pound receiver, has 37 catches, 515 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You can be sure that he's going to come with lots of energy in this game. Second leading receiver is Jordan Hudson with 26 catches, 355 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then Jalen Cooper with 15 catches for 271, 2 touchdowns. Yamir Knight, 26 catches for 251. Their top 5 pass catchers are wide receivers or the tight end. So they do a lot of their work with their wide receivers. So expect that. I mean, we can expect to have a tough game. It's not going to be a cakewalk by any means. It's going to be a game that Miami has got to come out ready to go, ready to play. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of there's going to be some familiarity with these two teams naturally. But this one will be a bit personal. Now, keep in mind, this is a 12 noon start. This is the first time the Canes this season have played at noon. And actually, it's at 11 o'clock in the morning if you look at it from the perspective of it's in Dallas. So that is a noon, or Fort Worth or wherever SMU is. That's a 11 o'clock in the morning start. If you're in the room, though, please do hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know you're here. Love that those comments going. But man, Miami. I don't know that I mean, talking about these games coming up, Miami should win them all. Miami should win them all. And if they don't, it would be disappointing. And at this point, like, I don't know that I could put anything past them in terms of losing a game again, but they're the better team. They're 12.5 point favorites in this game on the road. Like, think about that. You're a 12.5 point favorite on the road. That means you should win. You should win. And I'm looking forward to seeing continuing a running game, a running attack, continue to came back last weekend. Did see some pulling linemen, which was nice. Malachi Tony continues to awe everyone. Now he's doing it with the punt return game. It's just like you're watching a special kid. I mean, this kid is special. It's special. Just looking at your comment, I'm still confused as to what's going on in the first half, the last 2 weeks before we come off the bus. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for that question, or because I have the same question. I'll be real. I don't like night games. I think night games get guys. I'm not a fan of the night game. I'm just not. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I am not a fan of. To me, this is just a thought because Mario Cristobal brought this up today in the press conference. He talked about the time of the game and when they work out and when they do their stuff during the week. Well, if you're gonna play your first 6 games at night, why not practice at night? Maybe that sounds crazy, right? But if you're gonna play at night against Notre Dame, at night against Bethune-Cookman, 4:30 against South Florida, ended up being at night because I think it was because of the rain delay. At night against Florida, at night against Florida State, at night against Louisville. Literally the entire season's been at night. And then you play Stanford at night. So you played 7 games after 4:30 p.m. Why not practice when you're going to play? I think we've come to see that. I get that, but I think we come to see that they know they're going to play at night. They know they're going to play at night. This game is not at night because SMU just lost. That's why this game got moved. Probably it's in the daytime. I think because SMU lost. If SMU had won and came in at 6-2 and 4-0 in conference, do you think this game would be at night? I think this game would. They gave the damn time for the FSU game 2 weeks in advance. That wasn't done the week of. That game was that time was given like 2 weeks. That game time was given before they lost, before FSU lost to Virginia. So it wasn't in that case. It was at least 2 weeks there. Yeah, we win by 35 and we drop a spot. By the way, welcome aboard Beast, Cuban Kane, Abad three-way. But again, I'm gonna sit here and say I don't know why you don't practice at night. But I guess now it will work out. They have an 11 o'clock start. It's basically a morning game for them because they're not playing here. And they have to come ready to play. They've got to be ready to play. They have to come out fired up, energized, and ignore the fact that SMU just lost to Wake Forest. They got to ignore that. They got to come with all the energy. And you know what? Remember, Louisville had just lost to Virginia. So get that shit out of your brains. You got to come ready to punch people in the mouth. Now, Our center Brock is struggling badly. I mean, if you say so. I don't know why you feel that way. Is it because of the running game? I think our running game is I think the play calling is the problem there. I don't have much issue with that guy. I have more issue with the fact that we don't have a tight end and we didn't figure out we didn't figure out who we could put at tight end in the summer because the tight ends that we have are not good. The tight ends that we have are just not good. They're not up to speed. One of the things that Carson Beck had when he was at Georgia was a tight end he could throw the ball to. He doesn't have a tight end to throw the ball to. He doesn't have that outlet guy. His outlet guy is Malachi Tony. There's not a lot of stuff that goes to the running backs out of the backfield in the passing game. It's a hell of a lot of screens to wide receivers. We saw some better, nicer throws downfield the other day. Mid-level throws, 15, 20 yards. We saw that last week on Saturday night. Still waiting to see this guy open up the damn playbook a little bit again. Like we opened up the playbook more versus Florida State than we did against Louisville, and certainly than we did against Stanford. And I think it has to come earlier. Like I don't understand why you have your 15 scripted plays and you're not marching right down the field and putting the ball in the end zone. They did get into field goal range, but once again, the offensive game, the play calling turns bland and vanilla. I did do a video on dropping a spot after winning by 35. I dropped that video today. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. To me, it's absolutely crazy that you win by 35. I don't care what the score was at halftime. The final was you won by 35 and you dropped a spot. Mind you, Virginia beat North Carolina by 1 in overtime, and North Carolina's terrible, and they went up a spot. Louisville beat Boston College 38-24, and Boston College is terrible, and Louisville went up 3 spots. It's the continuation of ridiculousness in which this is why Miami has to win these games convincingly and take care of business convincingly. They cannot come out, lay an egg in the first half, first quarter, let the other team feel good, and then have to have a fight the entire game. I definitely agree with this. You got to get the running game going early, and I don't even know why we have tight ends out there to run the ball. I'm gonna be real. I think having tight ends out there kind of gives it away that you're probably gonna run the ball. I would start running the ball without tight ends. I would start having some running plays without tight ends on that field. Because to have tight end, the tight end with Miami, there were times where I saw Elijah Lofton lined up way outside. I'm sitting here like, why? I mean, there was one play we ran the entire game that was something of, oh, that was different. Of course, it was Malachi Tony. And now you got to really look at his punt return game. Beyond the fact that he's kicking ass, catching the ball, making plays, now the punt return, those 2 punt returns were ridiculous. Now, watching them from where my angle is on the field, it's like there's no hole there. Yet somehow this kid stays on his feet like I've never seen before. His balance level is crazy. His balance is absolutely nuts. I'm so impressed by every game that this kid plays. I'm more and more impressed. It's mind blowing because once you think, well, what can he do this week to make you say, oh my God, and he just does it again. We use our tight ends to block. Yeah, I know we use them to block, but the problem is only one of them knows how to block. That's Bauman, 87. Lofton can't block. Lofton cannot block. That's why Bauman plays so much, because that's all he does is block. And if he catches a pass, it's nothing short of a miracle. So why in the world am I going to run the ball every time when I have a tight end out there? It becomes kind of a tendency that you're showing on film. I don't remember what I got to check to see Let me see something here. The play counts. I know that some other guys got some opportunities on on Saturday. Some wide receivers got some opportunities. Joshua Moore was in the action again. I mean, I'm watching it live. Does anyone know did JoJo Trader play at all? Did he play at all? Well, he can't. Yeah, he looks lost because he can't block. He can't. Dude, the dude can't block, man. I'm serious. He can't block, and I'm not being mean. I'm being real. He just can't block. Did the Trader play at all? I'm looking at inside the U to see it because I know they post up the snap counts. Got 22 snaps, and he didn't get a catch. Was a ball even thrown his way? That's wild. So 22 snaps. I mean, he's back on the field, so at least that's a good sign. Now it's a matter of if we actually get some opportunity to catch the ball. I mean, again, this is part of what Stanford was supposed to be. And that's my frustration with the way they played that first half. That was a game that you were supposed to be getting guys reps. Yeah, JoJo Trader didn't have a catch. I don't know if he even had a ball thrown his way. They played 5 tight ends. Alex Bauman got 34 snaps. Elijah Loveland got 26. Luka Gilbert got 14. Owen Ruskovich got 7, and Brock Shaw got 1. Yes, there's opportunities. Well, yeah, I'll say this. The only game that truly worries me besides this weekend or gives me pause is Pittsburgh. I have no concerns about Virginia Tech. I don't think Virginia Tech's worth shit. I don't care what people say about how hard it is to play at Virginia Tech. That doesn't mean fuck all to me. I'm gonna be real. It don't mean fuck all to me. They're not good. I know they won the game that they played last week against Cal. They're not good. If Miami just shows up and does what they're supposed to do, Miami wins that game and they win it handily. So I don't have a whole lot of concern about Virginia Tech. I mean, last year, what was Virginia Tech's record last year? 2-1 or 3, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3. Oh, 5, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry. 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 5-6, 6-6. So they went 6-7. I don't worry about them. Not worried. That was last year. They're not very good. I am not a fan of the coaches. I'm not. I think we at some point these guys are getting paid a lot of money to coach, and if they fail, they're gonna get fired. They may not get fired this year, but if they continue to fail, they're gonna get fired. So that's my thoughts on that. They're gonna get fired. It's just a matter of when. Brian Kelly got fired yesterday. I didn't know that. I didn't think he'd get fired. Do people really think he was going to get fired yesterday? I mean, $54 million buyout? A $54 million buyout? We just watched 2 of the largest buyouts in college football history with teams that now I'm hearing LSU is one of the greatest jobs in the country. I'm like, really? Since when? When did LSU become one of the greatest jobs in the country? Give me some water. When did they become one of the greatest jobs in the country? I don't remember LSU. When I grew up, LSU wasn't some elite program. Yeah, they've had some good seasons. They won some national championships, but LSU doesn't make me walk around saying, "Oh boy." I don't get all I don't think that LSU is something special. They're a good program. Now they're considered one of the greatest jobs in the country. Okay. When it comes to this coaching staff, I do think that I think Corey Heatherman's been great. You know, I presume that the coaches you're talking about are Mario and Shannon Dawson. The more I'm hearing things on the more things I'm hearing is that this is Shannon Dawson calling what Mario wants to call. Just being real. This is what I've heard from different people closer to it than me. That Shannon Dawson calls what Mario wants to call. And that's a problem. That is a problem when you have your head coach who's conservative as shit, pretty much calling the game. I mean, last week the Canes ran the ball 44 times and threw it 30 times. Mario loves that shit. Me, personally, I don't. I don't like it. I want to see my wide receivers get an opportunity to do some work, man. Well, Mirror Ball's Mario, man. Mirror Ball is an extension of Mario. So it's the only guy he probably trusts. So why is your offensive line coach calling plays for the offense? Why not just make him the coordinator then? Make him the coordinator. That's who you want to be, the guy that calls the plays. Make him the coordinator. Because the lack of creativity in this offense is painful. And let's be real. Last week, the offense owes steak dinners to those defensive players. That was an outstanding defensive performance. 144 total yards. Yeah, the first drive sucked. And after the first drive, Stanford didn't do anything. Nothing. Ben Goldbrinson was 9 of 21 for 50 yards. Elijah Brown comes off the bench. He goes 3 of 5 for 39. Mind you, that was in the fourth quarter. They ran the ball 27 times for 55 yards, 89 yards passing, 144 yards of total offense. Total offense. They had 3 first downs after the first quarter, and one of those was courtesy of a penalty. One of them was courtesy of a penalty. That was a dominant performance defensively. And the offense owes a thank you card to the defense because a lot of their stuff was created by defense. The interceptions giving them great field position, the punt returns giving them great field position. Miami's field position in this game was fantastic. It was fantastic. And yet, especially in the second half. I mean, second half was crazy. It was crazy. I'll stand on the stuff. Do not say that. Yeah, I don't want to see that. That is the one guy that we cannot afford to lose. He is absolutely irreplaceable. Malachi Tony is irreplaceable. There's no one that can come in for him. There's nobody that has the ability to do what he does. And that's crazy talking about an 18-year-old kid. But there's no one on this team that can do what he does. What he does is incredible. His ability to make people miss and zigzag through little cracks is nuts. He's just amazing. Every time I watch this kid, like I said, every time I watch this kid play, I'm blown away. I'm blown away week by week by what this guy does. I'm waiting for them to put him at defensive back or something like that, or play linebacker. I mean, I have no idea. I'm waiting to see him be a flyer on special teams and make a hit on special teams because this guy he does everything. He does everything. Now, yeah, the same as Golden and D'Onofrio. Yeah, Coach Nodi. I remember him very, very well. I was still covering the team back when I was with Inside the U at the time. But yeah, this is a big time game for Miami. They have to get the job done, take care of business early. Do not let SMU stick around. Do not let them feel confident. Punch them in the mouth early. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why Miami has looked so poor on the first possession of the last 3 games defensively. They played great against Stanford, but why do they look so poor defensively to start the game? That's the question I have. Why have they looked so poor? I, if y'all have any thoughts to that, I'd love to hear them because I don't have an answer to that. Seems like these teams use their 15 plays and they're making them work. Well, we don't use our 15 plays. We don't use our script. Our script is very, very basic, bland, and vanilla. I want to get y'all opinion since I got y'all here tonight live. And I've given my opinion on this. What are your thoughts of Carson Beck? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. What are y'all thoughts on Carson Beck? The stuff I've read about this guy just bothers me. It really bugs me to no end. The things that are said about this dude, I think a lot of them are not warranted. Is he perfect? Is he perfect? By no means. But Carson Beck is a top 10 college football quarterback. I'm serious. I suggest that people go look up and down at the quarterbacks in this country. But why in the world is Ty Simpson considered so good? Why? Because he didn't throw a pick? I mean, let me know. Let me know. Does someone have an answer to that? Diego, whatever his name is, Pavia threw for 128 yards this past weekend against Missouri. He gets praised for it. He gets praised for it. Threw for 128 yards. Am I on drugs? Am I on drugs? What? On Carson Beck? Carson Beck's a top 10 QB in the country. Go find me someone else that's won 30 college football games since 30-4. Go find me one guy. Go find me a 30-4 starting quarterback in college football. Go find me a guy that went 13-1 a couple of years ago. Go find me a guy that went 11-2 last year. Find me that guy. I'd like to find. Let me know about him. Let me know who it is. Last year, Fernando Mendoza was 6-6 at Cal. 6-6. He's a top 10 QB. We disagree. 6-6 was Fernando Mendoza, and all of y'all would call to have him be the quarterback here next year, right? Because he's at Indiana right now, and because the offense is being. They won 20-15 over Iowa. You think Gunner? There's other issues that Carson Beck was having up there. It had nothing to do with his ability to play football. I guarantee you they wouldn't have lost to Alabama if he was their quarterback. He's better than Gunner Stockton. He's better than Gunner Stockton. I'm sorry. Like you're getting a guy that's being forced to throw swing passes. You do realize that his junior year or the 2 years ago at Georgia, he only threw 6 interceptions. And they were 13-1. Again, you name me 10 QBs that are better than him in the country. You can't do it. You cannot do it. The Texas A&M quarterback, I'm going to give you his information. Marcel Reed, he's thrown 6 interceptions. Beck's thrown 7. He's completing only 61% of his passes. Beck has completed over 73% of his passes. Do you even know who Marcel Reed is? Dante Moore at Oregon. Oh, he has a loss. They lost 30-20 at home to Indiana. And you know in that game he threw for 186 yards and 2 picks? Did you know that? Did you know that? I'm asking the question. If you want to hit me in the comments, please do. Dante Moore threw for 186 yards and 2 interceptions against Indiana in that loss. You know what Mendoza did in that game? The great Mendoza, 215 yards and a pick. Nothing spectacular either way. Either way. The need to shit on this guy is crazy. Because until a week before that, people were loving what he did against Florida State. He's not top 10, top 3. You think he's worse than a fucking freshman at Pitt? You're crazy. You're crazy, bro. I disagree. You think Haynes King's a better quarterback Come on, dude. Quarterback. Haynes King is a running quarterback. He's not a quarterback. Haynes King will not play in the NFL. Let's look at Haynes King. Haynes King's numbers. Haynes King has thrown for 4. Haynes King has thrown 7 touchdowns. 7. He runs the ball. He's a running QB. That's not a quarterback. That's a fucking running back who plays quarterback. He's not a quarterback. He runs a triple option. I thought the picks against Louisville, the first pick was a sensational play by the Louisville DB. I'm glad that you said this. The first one was a sensational play by the DB. The fourth one, your fucking tight end doesn't know what route to run. I don't know what Beck will be, but I know Haynes King won't either. And I can go look at Georgia Tech's schedule. Show me a game that Georgia Tech played against a good team this year. You can't find one. Everybody they play sucks. Everybody on their schedule sucks. Everybody on that schedule sucks. Name me a ranked opponent in that schedule for Georgia Tech. Clemson? Is that the team that they needed a 55-yard field goal to beat? Clemson stinks. The first fucking pick that Beck threw to Malachi, he was open by 3 yards, and that dude comes across the field and makes a ridiculous play. It's a great play. And Malachi was interfered with, by the way. The fourth one, your tight end can't run a route. If he runs the proper route, the ball's probably caught. But because he doesn't know his damn route on a hot read, it gets picked. Again, that was actually a really good play by the DB. Am I mad? Was I happy about the throw? No. But the third one, left guard didn't block anybody. You saw that, right? It was a shitty throw. Left guard didn't block anybody. And even the one that was down the sideline, it wasn't a great one, but why isn't our wide receiver knocking that ball away? Man, learn to play DB and punch it away. You got to help your quarterback at times, man. You got to help your QB. At least 2 of those picks were good, really good plays by Louisville players. And he was still 25 of 35 for 271. I mean, yeah, it sucks how it ended. It sucks. Were we losing to that game because of Carson Beck? Let me ask yourself that question. Were we losing that game because of Carson Beck? Or were we losing that game because we fell behind 14-0 in the first quarter? In the first quarter, and our game plan was vanilla and boring. I'm asking the question. Our game plan sucks. You can't rip Shannon Dawson and say, your game plan sucks, and then rip the quarterback and say, well, you suck too. Well, he didn't suck until he didn't play great against Louisville, but until that point, did he play well against Florida State? Very well. Did he play well against Notre Dame? Yes. Did he play well against USF? Yes. Cam Ward was a 6-6 quarterback before he got here. Remember that. He was a 6-6 QB too. Okay, so let's look at the other. You said Pittsburgh. Okay, well, Pittsburgh is the only team that Georgia Tech has to play. And that game is at home. Let's look at the Pittsburgh quarterback that you're swearing by right now. Completing 65% of his passes. Mason Heinschel. He's playing well. I mean, but you would take him over Carson Beck? I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. Miami had no defense last year, man. Miami had no defense. You remember that, right? We had no defense, right? Miami had no defense. Miami had zero defense. I don't know why you think Carson Beck has no arm. That's odd, but okay. I disagree with that as well. Let's see Pittsburgh go beat Georgia Tech for us. Albeit, I would rather just not play in the ACC championship at this point. I don't really care about it. Just want to win the rest of our games. That's it. But Georgia Tech ain't played nobody. That's just reality. Who's the other quarterback that's better than Carson Beck in the ACC? You think Miller Moss is better than Carson Beck? So who is the other QB? Because what was the comment here? He's not even top 3 in the ACC. Who's the third? Who's the third? Do not tell me the Virginia quarterback is better than Carson Beck. Stop it. There's nobody else in that conference who's better than Carson Beck. Are you gonna tell me CJ Bailey at NC State? No, they're 4-4, bro. I mean, it's just cute how we shit on a guy, how people shit on a guy just to shit on the guy. It's different. It's different to me. Just shit on the guy to shit on him. He is not better than Carson Beck. CJ Bailey is not better than Carson Beck. They're 4-4. They're 4-4. He scored 7 points against Notre Dame. They lost to Virginia Tech at home. Come on, man. They're 4-4. I've seen CJ Bailey play, man. He's still a sophomore. You think he's better than him right now? Sorry, disagree. Get off the South Florida bullshit, man. Carson Beck is a fucking leader. Carson Beck makes great throws. Yeah, does he make mistakes? Like everybody, he makes mistakes. He makes mistakes. Is it the job of the coaches to help the guy be successful? Would you say yes or no? So you think CJ Bailey is if Emory Williams is Miami's quarterback, what's Miami's record? Refusing to take wide open check. I don't want to have check downs every fucking play. We run check downs the entire game. At some point, throw the goddamn ball down the field. No, I don't think Beck is better than Cam. I don't think Beck is better than Cam. They're different quarterbacks. They're different types of players. And records do matter. Do you think Ken Dorsey was a great quarterback? I suggest you go look at the noodle arm he had. Go look at his noodle fucking arm, the fucking ducks that he threw constantly. And I love Ken Dorsey. Love Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey had a noodle arm. And he played with the greatest players in the world. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You probably say I'm wrong. I don't want a wide open check down. We literally run screens and swings the whole game. How about we run a crosser a cross over the middle? No, I didn't say Beck is better than Cam. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? You're in a college. You want to make shit up? Go ahead, make shit up. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. But you want to look at if you want to go look at their history, Carson Beck actually was better at Georgia than Cam was at Washington State. At Miami, he was in the right position, right situation, right time. It worked out, and I was happy to see it work out for him. Love Cam Ward. I love Cam Ward. But sitting here and taking a dump on Carson Beck, you go to the stadium and boo your quarterback every time you go to the game? I'm just curious at this point. Because the way I fucking see it is people are sitting here blaming Carson Beck now for the fucking shitty game plan. So is it Carson Beck's fault that the game plan sucks? Or is it Dawson's fault? Let me know. I'm eating dinner. Sorry, guys. Is it Carson Beck's fault or is it Shannon Dawson's fault? You can't blame everybody. You can't blame everybody. Going into the Louisville game, Carson Beck got 11 touchdowns and 3 picks. Was he shit then to you? Stetson Bennett? Fuck no. Stetson Bennett wasn't better than Carson Beck. Stetson Bennett was no, not to me. Miami's got one fucking wide receiver this year, people. Are you paying attention? One great one and one good one. And the others, we have no idea. We have no idea. Who is our third best wide receiver? Ask me that. Tell me that. Tell me who the third best wide receiver is on this team, because there isn't one. There isn't one. It's hella frustrating comparing Cam Ward when I can go look last year at Miami, at what Miami had on the outside? Are you kidding? One of the biggest questions this season coming in was the wide receivers. All right, bro. You're comparing 6-6 to 13-1, and you're comparing a national champion. Okay. Those Georgia teams were better than the one than Carson Beck was on, and yet he was a blink from a national, and he was a blink from the fucking playoffs. Yeah, I know. Of course. Yeah. He sucks. He sucks. Terrible. Horrible worst quarterback in the country. Why do you watch the games then? If he's so bad, you know they're gonna lose. Why are you watching? What's the point? If I know my team's going fucking 3-9, I'm not watching this shit. The fuck if it's the Hurricanes. If they're going 3-9, I ain't watching this. I'm not giving up my time for that garbage. I got the Dolphins to deal with too. Like, I can't watch back-to-back bad football. Yes, I agree with you. Joshua Moore's our third best receiver? Okay. Joshua Moore has 10 catches. 10 catches. Joshua Moore barely played against Louisville. Didn't even play against Louisville. He's our third best wide receiver. Okay. It's not Keelan Marion, who has 18 catches. It's Joshua Moore. Okay. I'm asking the question because we don't have a third best receiver right now because we don't have a consistent third receiver. We have a great slot, Malachi Toney, and we have a good outside threat, CJ Daniels. Outside of that, we don't throw to the running backs and we don't have a tight end. And you think that's Carson Beck's fault. Okay. But if I show you last year's receivers, Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, Isaiah Horton. Do I base everything on stats? Bro, if Miami thought Joshua Moore was their third best receiver, he would play more. Wouldn't he? I'm asking you. He would play more, right? He wouldn't have been benched in multiple games, right? So you're sitting here and getting on this fence and saying the freshman Joshua Moore is our third best receiver, but he barely plays. So whose fault is that? If you give Jeff Brom our team, if you give Jeff Brom our team and give Mario Louisville squad, Miami beats Louisville by 30. By 30. Do not sit here and tell me that our quarterback is no good. And that our third best receiver is a guy who's basically been benched in 2 of the 7 games. He played 28 snaps against Stanford. What did he play against Louisville? I don't remember. If you gave Jeff Brom our team and gave Mario that team, gave Mario Louisville, Miami would have won that game by 30 points. I don't want to hear, like, everything is Carson Beck's fault. So Joshua Moore's our third best. And yes, stats do matter because you're literally using them stats. Cam Ward, before he got to Miami, wasn't shit. Why do you think he was great now? Stats, right? Stats. He threw for 4,300 yards, right? Stats. 39 touchdowns. Stats. If he threw for 2,200 yards, would you say he was great? No, you wouldn't. So last year, Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George. Jacoby George would be one of our best. Would be one of our top 3 receivers this year. Isaiah Horton, remember that guy? That guy was supposed to be on our team, and somehow ends up at Alabama. Isaiah Horton was going to be our number 1 wide receiver coming in this year, and he left. I heard a few reasons why. I'm sure some of y'all may have heard reasons why. But he caught 56 passes last year. Our tight end caught 35 passes. Sam Brown was our 4th receiver. He had 36 catches. I'm going to tell you right now, our third wide receiver will not have 36 catches this season. Our third wide receiver will not have 36 catches. Because Mario and Shannon Dawson have basically made our attack very, very bland. And before we say, oh, they were running the ball so much more this year, marginally. Last year we threw the ball 489 times. We ran it 433. This year we run it 252 and pass it 218. It's marginally. It's not huge. It's not huge. If Carson Beck didn't want, if Carson Beck had chosen to stay at Georgia, he'd be the starter right now. He didn't want to be there anymore. Y'all remember he was piping the girl down here. Remember that? Carson Beck is down here because he got paid and he was banging the Cavender girl. I didn't say our receivers suck. I didn't say our receivers suck. I didn't say any of that. When did I say our receivers suck? I never said our receivers suck. But they're not playing them. And that's the point. You have receivers. Why aren't you running plays for these guys? Why can't you get them the ball? Must be Carson Beck's fault, right? If Carson Beck was so great, why didn't you do everything? He'd be their starter right now. Trust. He would be the starter at Georgia if he had not transferred. He wanted out of fucking Georgia. He wanted out of Georgia. He was. Come on, man. Have you seen Gunnar Stockton play? You think that dude's good? You think that Cuban can? Come on, bro. You think Gunnar Stockton's good? Seriously. He throws the ball less than Carson Beck does, just so you know. He's throwing the ball less than Carson Beck. They've run the ball way more than they've thrown the ball there. Just so you know. You never said he was good, but you think that he wouldn't have started at Georgia? Beck would be the starter right now at Georgia if he was still there. He'd be the starter. He wanted out of there. Like, people want a fresh start. They want to get out of the situation. They're not happy. Why did Kirk? Because they probably didn't. Because it's not about letting him walk. Beck wanted to leave. He was unhappy. He was unhappy. Have you heard the things the guy said? He said he had lost the joy of football. He stopped loving football up there. Ask yourself why that might be. I don't know why that is. I'm sure it had to do with him fucking his arm up in his last game. I'm sure it had to do with the way the season went. I'm sure it had to do with the fact that he had receivers that couldn't catch the freaking ball. Like, look at what happened last year. Georgia led the country in drop passes at wide receiver. And people blame Carson Beck for why they didn't do X, Y, and Z. Well, if I put the ball in your picture this. You saw the play in which Beck throws the quick slant. The quick slant that there was like 40 drop passes by wide receivers last year at Georgia. Wide receivers. The quick slant that he threw to CJ Daniels on 4th down and 3. Me, I wanted to kick a field goal because I like points. Going for it on 4th down constantly shit, I'm not a fan of it. But Carson Beck throws the ball right to CJ Daniels' chest and he dropped it. It was a first down. Is that Carson Beck's fault? Now imagine having that happen 5 times a game, 4 times a game. That's literally what Carson Beck was dealing with up at fucking Georgia. It was happening 4 or 5 times a game. Plays like that. TBD wanted to leave because Mario fucked him. Bro. You think you can do all the convincing you want to do? Carson Beck wanted out of Georgia. He said he was unhappy playing football. You see a different guy. Like this whole thing of you won't let him leave. You don't have it's not your call. The coach can't force him to stay. Because if the coach could force a player to stay, don't you think Mario would have forced Isaiah Horton to still be in Coral Gables? The monster that dude is, the beast receiver he was for us last year, don't you think he'd still be in Coral Gables? When a guy wants to leave, he leaves. It's that simple. And Isaiah Horton right now is having a fraction of the season in Bama that he would have had down here. He's only got 22 catches at Alabama through 7 games, 8 games, 22 catches. He had 56 catches here. This kid was going to be our number 1 target. Why didn't Mario want to keep him? I don't know, because Mario was trying to replace his ass the year before with Sam Brown. And his family didn't like that shit. Family didn't like that shit. I don't remember what TVD said at Miami. I don't really care. I remember that we benched we benched Van Dyke going into the Florida State game on the road. We benched him for Emory Williams and thought we had a chance to win. And then blamed Tyler Van Dyke at the end when he was put in the game after Emory Williams got hurt. And people blamed Van Dyke for losing that game. What? And a week later, he's the starter again. You would want to stay and play for that coach? You would want. I don't give a fuck if he was smiling. They want to blame him for the fucking loss. I'd be smiling too, actually. You want to know why I'd be smiling? Like, you benched me for this fucking guy? You benched me for this shit? And now you want me to save your ass? Man, fuck you. Fuck you. You're kidding. I was at the game, so no, I didn't see it on television if he was smiling. I was at the game. I know that he was put in a no-win situation. He got benched going in. And a week later, he was the starter. A week later, he's the starter. Again. Come on, man. Mario Cristobal fucked Tyler Van Dyke. And if you think Emory Williams is better than Tyler Van Dyke, I mean, Tyler Van Dyke was, we were looking at TVD that first year. Yo, who is this guy? He's amazing. Okay. Again. All right, bro. Do you like any of our quarterbacks, bro? Do you like any of our guys? And last year, Cam Ward said after he threw stupid picks, he would say, I'll throw that ball again. Did you like that? Mario, fuck that kid. Coaches have the ability to suck the life out of a player. We got to understand, the players in this generation are different. The players of this generation are different. A lot of them are marshmallowy, softer than butter. And they're TikTok dancing and they're fucking smiling after losing. FSU players I heard were smiling, laughing it up after losing to Stanford. Laughing it up. I heard that shit. I got a bunch of friends that are FSU guys. I'm sorry, man. Okay, he's soft. You gotta fight. Okay, well, all right. Whatever. You know, a whole generation of TikTok freaking fruity boys playing football now. Little softies, man, doing TikTok videos in the damn locker room. What is that shit? What is that shit? We got a bunch of fucking gunners out there, and we play tight ends. We have tight ends playing on the outside. Carson Beck's fault. Tight ends can't catch on our team. It's Carson Beck's fault. I'm telling you right now. You want to go? You can go through this. If Carson Beck is not top 10, then where is he? Where is Carson Beck for you? Top 50? Top 100? Top 30? Top 15? Well, guess what? If he's a top 15 quarterback, then you should be happy that you're 6-1, right? Right? If he's a top 15 quarterback, being 6-1 is perfectly okay. If he's a top 20, if he sucks, then you should be thrilled that we're 6-1, right? I mean, I'm asking the question. Cuban Kane, I agree with you. We should be running the spread like everybody else. We got more weapons on the at wide receiver than most people, and we don't know what the hell they are because they sit on the fucking bench. Because we're trying to have 15 play drives. We should never have a 15 play drive against Stanford. We should be going right down the field on Stanford. Look at the routes. How many crossing routes have you seen this season? How many crossers have you seen this season? The ones where he goes cross, catch, and go. Okay, if he's top 15, then we have the number one defense in America. We don't have a tight end. That's the problem. We don't have a tight end, Shylon. We don't have a tight end. Who's our tight end? If we had tell me why Mario Cristobal didn't find us a goddamn tight end last year. Tell me why he hasn't converted one of these fucking linebackers and made them a tight end. Tell me why he hasn't taken a safety and made them a tight end. I don't know. Because if y'all remember, there was a time where DJ Williams played fullback. Y'all remember. We needed a fullback, and DJ Williams played fullback. When we play fast, he looks fantastic. When we play slow as shit, bro, if you're a quarterback and your coach is calling fucking swings every fucking time, you're treating me like I'm a fucking bum. Why can't we block on punt return? We just had 2 huge run backs this past weekend. Are you seeing something that I'm not seeing? I mean, it looks like Malachi Tony should have been touchdowns. I mean, okay. Malachi Tony breaks tackles. He breaks tackles. I mean, I'm happy with the 40-yard returns, man. Well, yeah, he is okay. I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for it. I want to know why we're not kicking a field goal up 14-7 with a chance to go up 17-7 in the third quarter. I want to know why we're not kicking a field goal, taking the points. I want to know why when we have a 47-yard field goal in the first half, why we're not kicking a field goal. Take the points. Punt return is if you're getting 30, 40-yard returns, I think you're happy with that. But I'm more worried about the fact that he has to break 50 tackles on a regular offensive play to go anywhere, or because they keep throwing him swing passes and asking him to be a fucking hero. This week, it's the same shit as it was before. Miami has to take care of business. Miami wins out. Miami's gonna make the playoffs. I mean, they'll make the playoffs, and then from there, this is one of the most conservative, probably the most conservative Miami team that I've ever seen. By the way, thank you very much. Appreciate you. A bad 3-way. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. The least conservative. What do you mean? They're Miami? They're the most conservative to me. I think SMU is a good squad coming off of a bad loss to Wake Forest, and they're going to be back home. And there are players on that team that know our guys who played for us. The coached here, Rhett Lashley. You're going to have a faster paced offense. You're gonna have a more oh, okay. Yes, I got you. Exactly. The conservative guy doesn't want to kick field goals. Uh, you have a mobile quarterback, and I think Miami's gonna have opportunity to make plays. I think Miami's defense is gonna have an opportunity to make plays. I'm very comfortable. I'm very comfortable with our defense. I trust our defense. I'd like to see the first possession look better, but I trust this defense. I think this defense is exceptional. If we had this defense last year, we'd probably win the national championship. You know, or if we have the offense from last year, this year we win the national championship. But I just think Miami has to do it. I think Miami has to establish the running game. They have to run the ball. They got to run the ball. They have to do some different things. They can't just run that same bullshit into people's backs. You know, you can only ask your lineman to push so far down the field. You know, Duke, I don't think Louisville has anywhere near the equal talent to Miami. That's the problem. That's the problem, Duke, is I think that Louisville is not near the talent of Miami. And I don't know that it matters if you're near the talent of Miami because they lost to a team that to me is not even close to the talent that they got. You know, you have a coach here who turns down field goals early on when he should take a field goal attempt, turns down a field goal when he's upset. It's 14-7, go up 17-7 in a game that's been rough. Won't turn. He turned down 6 points. I don't care that the kid missed the first kick. He missed it. Shit happens. You don't not kick him. You don't not use him. So now he's going to go to SMU coming off of a missed field goal. And I don't want that. You don't want this kid having a bad feeling about himself. You want him knowing that he made a kick, that he made the next kick. But Mario didn't trust him to do it. I don't think Mario trusts a lot of people. I don't think Mario trusts a lot of people. Like he doesn't trust his guys. This shit, he don't trust these. He doesn't trust his players. That's always been a problem. I've been calling that out for 3 weeks. He don't trust these dudes. He didn't trust them against Florida State. And you ask me why I say that? Well, the reason I say he didn't trust his guys against Florida State was you had an opportunity to put your foot on their throat, and instead you decided to turn your offense off and hope that you could run the clock out. That's not a champion. That's a guy who's scared to lose. Yeah, he trusted Cam Ward, no doubt about it. He trusted Cam Ward. He did. You can only have so many of those guys. Where you just shut the hell up and let them go to work, man. You know, I I just wish he would give. I just wish he would trust his guys, and I don't think he trusts his guys on offense or defense. I think he talks a great game. He doesn't trust these guys. Like you're sitting here, like it's like the stuff before the half. 3 timeouts, a minute 15 to go in the first half, and you don't call one timeout to get that ball back against Stanford. Not one. You don't call a timeout to get the ball back. You let them run the clock out. How'd y'all feel about that? Were any of you screaming at your TVs or at the game, screaming, saying, what the hell's going on here? I mean, were any of y'all saying, like, call a timeout? They got 5 yards, call the timeout. They got 3 yards, call the timeout. And on third down, they threw an incomplete pass. You would have had the ball at the 30 with a timeout. And instead, you let Stanford run the clock out. Stanford was ecstatic to be 7-7 at halftime. You should have been dare them to do something, bro. And that's the second straight week he's done that. We went into halftime against Louisville with 3 timeouts also. At least 2, I think 3. I think it was 3. And we did it against, and he did it again against Stanford. You went in with 3. What are you gonna do? Put them under your fucking pillow and save them? And then the way he didn't use the timeouts against Louisville, I blame their usage of their clock management a great deal for why they lost to Louisville. That last possession, that was certifiable dog shit. All these timeouts that he didn't use, he went home with 2 of them. He let clock run out because he's so worried about what Louisville might do if they get the ball back with some time left in a 28-24 game. Why are you coaching that way? And then at a certain point, you see he's really coaching for a field goal. So if you're going to coach for a field goal, then what the fuck are you running that play with Carson Beck for? On the one that he throws the pick on. Why even run that play? Just run the ball. If you want to just kick a field goal, run the ball. I don't believe he trusts his team. I don't believe he trusts himself personally either. I think he sits there on the sideline like, what do I do? 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 And I'm tired. And I don't want to be hypercritical of the guy, but God dog, man, it's like the same shit every week. You have a 6-1 football team. You have a top shelf with a top 15 quarterback who's got a lot of experience, who's already helped you beat Notre Dame. Who you beat South Florida by 37. And you're worried about if you score too fast, if your defense is going to stop Louisville. You're worried about if you give up a first down, we might set up a Stanford drive. Like, bro, coach to fucking win. Coach to win. And coaching to win doesn't mean you go for fucking 4th down every damn time. That's not coaching to win. That's stupid. You're so conservative, and then you want to go for it on 4th down when you're have a 24-yard field goal or a 30-yard field goal or a 35-yard field goal or even a 45-yard field goal. Kick the goddamn ball. Get your damn points. What I watch in college football today, where I watch these guys chasing points in the second quarter, drives me crazy. I'm sure y'all seen it. These people that go for 2 in the second quarter, what the fuck are they doing? And then they don't get it. And then you know, this game is going to come down to that damn 2-point play they didn't get. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That Neilgate shook him to the core. Yeah. That game against freaking Georgia Tech, I don't know that you ever get over that. Like, I remember when it happened, and I'm sitting here saying, and I remember there was it the center? It was a white dude who transferred. I think he transferred from Central Florida. I forgot his name. But the white dude on the O-line, and he was so mad on the sideline. Just so mad. And you lost the team that day. They lost the team that day. He lost his team that day. You're about to be 5-0, and instead you're 4-1. And from that point on, it went like this. They checked out. They didn't trust him. Like it was like the Richard Sherman look in the Super Bowl. Why? What are we doing? What are you doing? Oh, like I'm looking at it right now. We're 4-0. We beat the fucking tar at Texas A&M. And we lose the game to Tech, and then the week after we lose at North Carolina. In a game where TVD threw for 391 yards. I mean, and then we beat Clemson in double OT, beat Virginia, and then we lost to NC State 20-6. Lost to Florida State 27-20. That's the game where Tyler Van Dyke got benched. Then we lost to Louisville 38-31. We beat Boston College finish, and then we lost to Rutgers. To fucking Rutgers. in the Pinstripe Bowl. So from 4-0 to 7-6. Man, I'll never forget that. That to me, that was fireable. Thank you, epinephrine. Matt Lee. Yeah, he was so mad. I remember seeing him on the sideline. It's like, what in the world? That was fireable to me. And then you lose the week after. Like the fact that he was still here after that year was shocking. And look, I'm never going to critique the man's recruiting. He's a great recruiter, except for that he didn't get us a tight end this year. We don't have a tight end, which matters for Carson Beck. That outlet guy matters. But it's crazy frustrating. It's crazy frustrating. And now you're sitting here knowing that we have a really great squad and have a defense that's exceptional, and he doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust his offense. But there are a lot of people believe that Miami has the best front line on the offensive and defense line in the country, and he don't trust them. Not the way you should for guys like that. Just my opinion. What made that worse was that, first off, Don Chaney, yeah, he fumbled, but he didn't actually fumble. His knee or his elbow were already down, and replay somehow did not reverse it. But reversing it would have only allowed Mario to get away with it. So the fact that it wasn't reversed didn't allow him to get away with it. And that was the problem. And then on top of that, was he? Might be. And then you look at it and you say, but then on top of that, then you got beat deep. And all your DBs got beat deep. They have crazy. He's on his back when the ball came out. Okay. Yeah. I know he didn't fumble, but it's like you're supposed to kneel the ball. You're supposed to put your knee down. Like, it's not complicated. And I remember that year, that game was as fireable as the 2019 loss to FIU. That 2019 loss to FIU. That was you get fired for that shit. Like, you don't keep your job. You do not keep your job. No chance. No chance in hell. Do you keep your job after that? And he did. So this week, let's see what's on tap this week for the college football landscape. Ohio State plays Penn State, 12 noon. Vanderbilt goes to Texas. So Vandy comes off of a win against Missouri's backup quarterback, jumps in the poll over Miami, beating the backup, 17-10. Diego Pavia does literally flipping nothing, and he gets praised. I think Texas could win this game. I don't trust Vanderbilt. I don't trust Texas. Louisville plays Virginia Tech on the road. We'll see if Virginia Tech matters. Indiana travels to Maryland. Georgia plays Florida in the largest outdoor cocktail party. Like that's the real name. I think it was not that crap they call it today. There are no moral victories, bro. None, Duke. None. So Georgia versus Florida. Can Florida get the job done? I think Florida can beat Georgia. I'm going to be real. I think Florida can beat Georgia. Was this their first game without Billy Napier? I believe so. Dollar store, Johnny Manziel. Notre Dame goes to Boston College. Texas Tech, K-State. Virginia goes to Cal. Now, Cal is good. I know they choked their ass off versus Virginia Tech, but Cal's pretty good. And going cross country to play at Cal for Virginia That's probably going to be the last real test that Virginia has because they play Wake Forest and they go to Duke. I mean, Duke is decent, but that cross country trip is a motherfucker. It's tough. So that could be a tough game for Virginia. South Carolina goes to Ole Miss. They're coming off that game against Alabama that they gave away, in my opinion. Ole Miss coming off of a big win over Oklahoma. Could South Carolina go to Ole Miss to get the job done? Who knows? Purdue at Michigan. Georgia Tech goes to NC State. This is Let's see CJ Bailey give us a W, okay? Let's see. Yes, Gio, can I agree? We win out, we're in the playoffs. If we win out, we're probably a top 5 seed. And Georgia Tech at NC State, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night. I think that's a huge game. NC State can beat Georgia Tech. Let's see if CJ Bailey does his thing, man. You know, he's better than Carson Beck. So let's see him be better than Carson Beck and beat Georgia Tech. Oklahoma goes to Tennessee. And USC goes to Nebraska, Cincinnati at Utah. That's it. That is the schedule for the week for the ranked teams. Oh, Memphis plays Rice on Friday. So that's all I got for tonight, people. Man, I appreciate y'all jumping on board. It was a fun night. I got some content coming this week on the Hurricanes. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for jumping on board again. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button on the video. And no, if there's all kinds of rumors. There's all kinds of rumors. What I've heard multiple. I mean, there's the possibility of Fernando Mendoza coming to Miami. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But I do think if you're going to go get a transfer, I would like him to be the transfer. And the reason being is he has 2 years. So he has 2 years of eligibility. That makes him a lot more appealing to me than Mendoza or another quarterback who has 1 year. The 2-year thing is big. Having 2 years is big, and it gives you a chance to not just have the guy, be one and done. The one and done thing is nerve wracking. Like every year, a new quarterback, one and done, it's rough. It's rough. But you get that kid for 2 years, you might have something there. So I think that is a possibility. That is a possibility. And just so you know, Cuban Kane, Miami has had more talent than everybody in the ACC for largely the last 20 years outside of Clemson. Even Florida State. Florida State and Miami's talent levels have been fairly similar. Miami has had top shelf recruiting classes for 15, 20 straight years and still has found ways to lose games to teams that have less talent. Year in and year out. They have found ways to lose games to 2-star athletes and 1-star athletes and no star athletes and people that nobody wanted and nobody gave a damn about. And they have found ways to lose these games consistently. Consistently. That's why for many, many years when people would do that, oh, that's a W, that's a W, that's a W. No. We are the W to them. We have been the W to them for a long time. But we here have convinced ourselves that no, we're going to beat them. Yes, I agree with you. Shitty ass coaches. I agree with you. I've said it forever. Development of player. And that's why losing Isaiah Horton to Alabama made me so upset because that was one guy that we actually developed. And then we let him go. We did something to make him want to leave. We did something that made him want to leave. Wait, 14 of the last 15 ACC. Is that really a fact, Duke? I didn't realize that. They won it last year. They did win it last year. Shit, But Miami's talent level's been up there for 20 years. never been a talent issue. It's been a coaching issue. It's been a coaching issue for 20 years. It's been for 20 years, unfortunately. So you have to hope that now you have enough talent to overcome the coaching. And coaching just isn't, as we know, play calling. It's everything. It's game management. It's game plan. It's clock management. It's trusting your players. Like it's all these things. I understand. I do get it because I haven't coached in college, but I've coached younger kids, and I do get you trust guys differently. You do. It is what it is. You do trust people differently on your teams. But I've had players that I had complete 100% trusted. Like I trusted them in completely. The guys that I typically had start for me, I trusted completely. Whether it was in travel basketball or in kids soccer, my guys that started, I trusted completely. Imagine that I trusted a 10-year-old completely to play. He doesn't trust his 22-year-old quarterback. He doesn't trust his one of the best his top shelf defense in the country. So, but I appreciate y'all people, man. Thank you so much for jumping on board this evening. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all next week. Same time, same place, 9 p.m. Hurricanes Unfiltered weekly, man. Live at 9 p.m. every Monday night. Videos will be dropping throughout the week. And if you have any thoughts or ideas on things that you'd like me to do a video on, because I am an open book. I am open. Thank you, GOK. I am open to suggestions and ideas. If you have something that you'd like to hear my opinion on, I'm happy to give my opinion. I'm happy to give my opinion on everything. You know, obviously I want videos to get viewed. There are certain videos that get viewed, others that don't get viewed. So, but if you have an idea, a thought, something you want to see, let me know. Send me an email at comeonnowthepodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's comeonnowthepodcast@gmail.com. And also go follow us on Instagram, Hurricanes Unfiltered, and our main one, Come On Now Podcast. And I will talk to y'all later this week, man. See y'all with some more videos, man. I appreciate y'all again. That's all we got. We'll name the top open jobs in America, and what coach do you think will? Okay. So people think LSU is the top job. I mean, I look at LSU like I look at Penn State. They're probably a little bit better than Penn State. I think it's probably number one of the jobs that are available. But I don't think LSU is like I've heard people say it's one of the greatest. It's the greatest job in the country, like just in general. Like, okay, I disagree, but okay. Tell you what, if you gave me an option of LSU or Florida, I think Florida's a better job. I think Florida's a better job. I think Florida's a better job than LSU. Just my opinion. I am petrified. I am petrified of Lane Kiffin going to Florida. Petrified. That is the guy that I do not want to go to Florida. So I hope Ole Miss pays him everything they can pay him. Go to LSU. Don't go to Florida. The reason I don't want to go to Florida is that it will make recruiting an absolute war in Florida. It'll make it a war. I don't even know what I mean. It's Penn State and it's LSU, Penn State, the rest of those jobs. Florida. I think Florida's the best. I think Florida's the best job personally. Because the talent is so rich in Florida that no one can argue that Florida doesn't have talent. Their talent is top shelf. It's great. They have great talent in that program right now. So again, that's all I got, man. Y'all have a great week, man. I appreciate y'all. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now the Podcast. Come on now.